So, everybody's talking about Bitcoin like they're experts and cryptographic developers, but how many really know what Bitcoin is, what its strengths are, but most importantly, what it lacks? Let's dive in, without complicating things too much. Just a breezy talk about where Bitcoin is going wrong and what it means for you and me. Bitcoin is one of the original cryptocurrencies. Why is it important? Because it set out to be a peer-to-peer, permissionless digital cash system. At least that's what it set out to do. I'll explain in a bit. This is a revolutionary idea. You can send an email to anyone in the world. Why not money? Imagine the freedom of having your bank account in your phone or computer. Being able to transact freely with no middleman, no banks, no PayPal. Just you, the code, and the other person. It all sounds great up until here. And it was going well from 2009 to maybe around 2014. What happened there? Well, first, the blockchain began getting crowded. And second, there are privacy flaws which began to be a problem. So, quick and easy, what is the blockchain? The Bitcoin blockchain is a public ledger, or registry, of every transaction that has ever taken place. If Mary sends Joe 1 Bitcoin, that will forever be inscribed in the public blockchain. You can see Mary's address and balance, and you can see Joe's address and balance. Yes, you heard right. If I have your address, I can see your balance, how much you've received, and when. Everything. A public blockchain like Bitcoin's is a double-edged sword. This explains the privacy concerns a bit. Maybe you don't want everybody you transact with to know all your financial history, right? There were ways around this, but the Bitcoin community and core developer team, for some reason, have had no interest in correcting this. Anyway, going back to the blockchain, remember it got crowded? That's because the blockchain allows a maximum limit of 1 megabyte every 10 minutes. That's around 4,000 transactions every 10 minutes. That isn't a scalable solution even at the minuscule percentage of people that use Bitcoin. How did the Bitcoin developers solve this? Well, they didn't. They patched it up with a system called Lightning Network, which if you want to use, you either need expert skills setting up what's called a node, or need to download a wallet that uses somebody else's node. And the owner of the node can censor any address, any transaction, and see all transactions. Oh, and it's a pain in the neck to make one node compatible with another. So the Lightning Network isn't private. It isn't a real solution to the overcrowding of the blockchain, and it didn't really solve anything. The limited block size causes another big issue with Bitcoin. Since there's a limited number of new transactions, it's very expensive to use. Being realistic, a Bitcoin transaction can cost from $8 or $10 to hundreds of dollars. If you want to buy a $2 coffee, the transaction will cost you more than the item you're buying. Remember what Bitcoin set out to do? A peer-to-peer digital cash system. And privacy-wise, you need a very specific characteristic if you want cash. You need fungibility. That's a fancy word which just means every Bitcoin is indistinguishable from every other Bitcoin. There's a pesky detail with transparent blockchains, and that is ironically, that transparency kills fungibility. If institution X doesn't like Joe, then it can label all of Joe's transactions and ban or penalize anyone who does business with Joe. You cannot have fungibility if you don't have privacy. There's no way around this. You can't have a cash system, digital or not, without privacy. So up until now, the privacy issues have been covered as well as the scalability problems. But wait, that's not all. Remember what Bitcoin set out to do? It was meant to be a peer-to-peer digital cash system. Peer-to-peer. Bitcoin's growth has become institutionalized, and for starters, it's very hard and expensive to obtain Bitcoin without a bank account and ID. That's unfortunate if you wanted Bitcoin to avoid banks in the first place, isn't it? Speaking of peer-to-peer, few people that own Bitcoin and use it actually use a non-custodial wallet. A non-custodial wallet is a program or application where you have the keys to your coins and nobody else can touch it. Many people use Bitcoin through their Binance or other exchange accounts. This is no joke and happens every day. People get paid in Bitcoin which may have a label on it unbeknownst to the receiver. And Binance very often freezes or confiscates people's coins. That's not a peer-to-peer digital cash system. That's just an expensive, inflated bank system 2.0. And last but not least, we have the mining problem. Bitcoin mining is the process of people or miners registering the new block transactions every 10 minutes. In simple terms, in order to mine Bitcoin, or be the lucky winner that allows you to register the last block, you need a computer to play a guessing game constantly until by odds it guesses the number, and this gives the miner a Bitcoin reward. The more powerful your computer is, the more chances you have of getting the reward. But nobody put a filter on how powerful computers can be, so Bitcoin mining computers, or ASICs, have gotten extremely expensive and scarce. This limits the amount of miners, and is a big security issue. This also centralizes the miners into powerful groups of people. If someone has more than 51% of nodes or miners, that gives them the power to do with the blockchain whatever they want. Whatever they want. They can change the rules, the balances, anything. There are issues to solve this, but I won't get into them to not make this video too long. So those are the main flaws of Bitcoin in a nutshell. I've never understood people who own it through an ETF or bank. That's not what Bitcoin is. If you want to use it as a speculative investment, just know it has strayed far from what it set out to do. And know that you're not getting a peer-to-peer digital cash system. There are other coins that have solved this issue perfectly, but Bitcoin got fossilized in its original version and has failed to solve its most important issues. In 2017, it faced its most important fork, basically a copy-paste of its code, and Bitcoin Cash was born. Bitcoin Cash still has privacy issues, but it solved the block size problem and is way more scalable and useful than Bitcoin. If you want privacy, there are coins like Monero that solve this. If you want speed and transparency, there are amazing projects like Nano that solve that. So other blockchains have come up thanks to Bitcoin, and each solves different issues in different ways. I find it unfortunate that Bitcoin has more than 50% dominance of the market, having failed to solve what it set out to do, remember? A digital peer-to-peer cash system. Thanks for watching this video. I'll make others explaining other blockchains and going more in depth into technical issues, but I hope you got something out of this one. If you liked it, remember to like and subscribe for more content like this.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video and would like the Witty Computer to help with any digital stuff, visit our website or send us a message. We're the Internet's corner digital workshop.